you'll see a lot of people these days talking about trying to leave the matrix, trying to ascend, especially in the spiritual community, and they'll try and leave the matrix in a certain way. What I suppose that community doesn't understand is that this world we live in itself has constraints on purpose. That's how you play the game. So let's just say, for example, you're playing a game of chess. Okay, chess has rules. Chess has a way you play the game. It has, certain pieces can move certain ways based on the, construct of the game itself, right? You cannot not play chess the way that's actually designed. Horses move in a certain ways, pawns move in a certain way, queen and kings move in a certain way, right? And if you wanted to stop playing the game of chess and leave the game of chess, you're no longer playing chess, right? And this is what I find difficult with the spiritual community is everyone's trying to leave the matrix. I want to ascend to whatever fucking dimension they talk about. And the human experience is about human experience. And I said that in another video about the purpose of life is that we are here to have the human experience. We are not here to leave it. We're not here. This enlightenment stuff, when we become enlightened, and somewhere in this, you're not here to actually leave this place, right? You do that when you die, okay? You're here to play the game as best as possible while you're on the chessboard. And certain people have ways to be able to do that and have access to be able to play at a master level. Most people play it as a pawn, and you're a victim of a lot of stuff. But telling people that they have the ability to leave the matrix or to ascend to another dimension or whatever crap they talk about these days, to try and con people in it that we're meant to become enlightened in this world is probably not correct. We have a world that's governed by certain laws, and our laws are based in limitations. There's things we can do and the things we can't do. And they're very, very specific of stuff, right? One of them is once you stop playing the Earth game's over, right? Once you die or you whatever they want to call about enlightenment or whatever, you cannot play this game from another place. The idea of playing the human game is to play it as a human and to play it via its limitations. There's things you can and you can't do, right? And when you kind of get that, you kind of see that, oh, okay, all these people peddling stuff about escaping the matrix, they don't understand. They don't understand that it's not about escaping the matrix. It never has been. It's not about becoming enlightened. It never was, right? Your job is to awaken to, how you operate. Your job is to see how human behavior works. Your job is to see how your emotions, your hormones, your feelings, how all this stuff's put together and how you operate as a human being. That's the mastery part. That's not leaving the matrix. You're still playing the game. You're still playing the human game on the chessboard. You haven't left it. So when people are saying that they can, that's the job, or again, you become some kind of enlightened mystical being and all that kind of crap. They're all off on another planet. The people who I know who are very, very attuned to what we call success in this world, they haven't become enlightened. They haven't all of a sudden escaped the matrix. They haven't all of a sudden, ascended to 4D or 5D. What the fuck they talk about these days, right? These people are still very raw human beings. They still make mistakes. They still have human emotions. They still cry. They still fuck some shit up, right? They still have these limitations they work through, but they know the game itself. They know how the game is played. They know the rules of the game. They know how they work at a deeper level. They know how their psychology, their biology, their hormones, their spiritual aspect, they know how that works. So they don't avoid that stuff. And that is the mastery of this world. They're not trying to leave it. They're playing it. That's the point of it. We're not here to stop playing the game, because once you stop playing chess, there is no chess anymore. It's not a chess game. And that's what people don't get, is that They're trying to stop a game that's not meant to be stopped. So your job in this place is not to ascend. It's not to become enlightened. It's not to, fucking 4D, 5, whatever 12D bullshit that's out there, right? Your job is to be human. Your job is to understand how this game works. Your job is to understand, why you're triggered in certain things. Your job is to understand why you attract certain relationships. Your job is to understand why certain things happen in your life. Your job is to understand why am I so sad with this? Why am I happy with this? Why this stuff's not working for me, right? Your job is to understand that and not at the surface level stuff of here's 5 more tips to this fucking bullshit. Or here's a if I just visualize this shit and I manifest this and I get $1 million, that's all crap. Everyone who knows this shit on my level knows it's snake oil. People are peddling you shit, right? And they will keep selling that, right? Because you fall for it every single time, right? Stop it. Your job is not to take the shortcut. There is a shortcut, but not the way that they say it. Is that understand that this world in itself is a chessboard. There's certain things you can and can't do. And it is ruled by limitations, right? There are things that when you understand the limitations, you get to play the game the way that you want to, not the way that's been instructed to you. Because most people in this world, you think you're making choices. You think you're making decisions. You're not. You haven't been for a long time. You're reacting to something that's been placed in you a very long time ago, and you're completely unaware of it. And the people who do make significant success in this world know that stuff. The only way to do that is to know who you are, to know how this game is played. It's not to leave it. It's not to become enlightened. It's about to become aware of it. If you want to call that enlightenment, so be it. But who gives a shit? Stop the labels, right? Who cares if fucking Blu-ray, fucking whatever, purple ray, whatever you're on this world. Like the spiritual world gives them the shits, right? Most of them have no idea about how human psychology works. Then telling you how to be a certain human, right? They got no idea, right? So understand this is that the world in itself is a chessboard. It's governed by rules. It's governed by limitations. There's things you can and can't do. And when you understand that and how you fit into that world, then you can play the chess game at a master level. Because until you know how this game is played, you're a pawn on that chessboard. And other people are just putting you forward and you're just being used as cannon fodder. But most people don't want to know. Those people who do want to know, they have a whole different experience of life, is because they become the chess master. They become the part that plays everybody else. And when you understand, again, you just start to know yourself at a deep level, and you know the construct around you about how this sort of game works. Then you can have a very, very different aspect of life and a very different aspect of how you play this game. But the game is not to be left. That's the first mistake people make, is that I've got to try and escape or break free of the Matrix. And that's what I suppose watching the Matrix movie has been misinterpreted in a way that everyone's thought it's about, I've got to leave the Matrix. And then all of a sudden somehow that, life becomes something different. And no, if you escape the Matrix, you're dead. You're on the other side, right? That's the only time that this game stops being played, because you're not here to actually have a spiritual experience. You're here to have a human experience, through a spiritual aspect of that, a seeing or watching of that, right? You're here to have the human experience. You're not here to leave it. The moment you leave the human experience, is the chessboard's gone, right? It stops. So understand that, that what you're sort of being led to believe by certain aspects of, let's say, the spiritual community, or even high performance, or coaching, or whatever industry that tells you that it's about escaping something, is that that is leading down a path that's not necessarily going to get you to where you want to get to. If you come the other way and go, okay, well, here's the game, and here's the game board, and here's the rules of the game. I understand how each person moves, each place moves, and how I understand how I move, and understand the rules of the game. Then you're in a very, very good place. Then you can start to really, let's say, develop your life and create the life that you want to have in a very aware way that doesn't require effort or doesn't require trying or doing or hustling, all that kind of stuff. You start to create from a different experience because you start to see things very, very differently. So, um, yeah, it's a bit of a rant, but as I said, this channel is about, me having a completely different aspect to what's mostly taught out there. Yeah, it goes against the grain and it's counterintuitive to a lot of different things. Is the fact that most people are trying to con you to actually go, we've got to escape something. We've got to actually leave the experience. We've got to, somehow ascend in a way. And it's like, no, you don't need to. That's not the point. That was never the point. And that's the part that, keeps you stuck, is because you're going down a path that keeps you in a loop when all you had to do was accept that the game is alive and the game has rules. And what are those rules? And when you understand that, you get to play the game, you know, from a place that's backdoors the rules in some way. So, um, yeah, ascension, escaping the matrix, enlightenment, all that kind of stuff. It's usually given to you as something that's outside of you, that sometime in the future that you need to become someone different, that you need to, it's something you can never get to, right? It's this illusion that it's this carrots of something in the future that you need to be able to get to, that gives you something you're looking for or you're running away from or not trying to feel. Um, and it's good for selling shit. It's good for marketing. People lap it up. People have made millions of dollars on, selling this shit. Hasn't ever worked for anybody. So it's not meant to, right? And the players who do know, right, they keep this very quiet. They don't shout this from the trees, right? They don't tell everybody, because once they understand that the game is the game for the game's sake, um, and the limitations of this world are in place for specific reasons, then you can start to play it at a different level. You were never meant to leave the game. You were here to play the game. And once the game play is over, then you go somewhere different. That's a whole other story. But while you're here, don't try and leave it. Don't try and ascend from it. Don't try and escape it. Don't try and become enlightened from it. Understand what it is. And understand that, yeah, what are the rules of this game? What are the limitations of the game? What can I work within to be able to play the best game possible? When you start to understand that, then you start to change your life.